I recently finished a painting job, and I'm not a professional, but I'm a semi-professional, and I've done it a lot. Many hours have been spent behind a paintbrush myself. With professional careers, there's a lot of expertise that has to come with the core of it, but then there's on the margins, there's small tricks that separate the professionals from the amateurs. So I've got a few tricks that I want to show you about painting. You don't have to be a professional to use them, but they may help your job be a little bit better. So here goes. A lot of people use painter's tape. If you get yourself a tape dispenser, just like you would use it in packing tape, it makes dispensing this stuff way easier if you have some long runs. And along those same lines, I wouldn't recommend this for just any job, but if you have a lot of masking that you have to do, this will do it for you. It puts the tape onto the paper, and then it has this place where you can just rip it off like that, but it does it cleaner and neater. But those are very handy tools. I recommend them if you got that to go. Always have Goof Off. This is really to test paint. And what I mean by that is if you got an old house and it hadn't been painted in a long time, or whatever you're painting over, because it's very important that if you're using latex, which 97% of people do use latex, you don't want to paint latex over an oil-based paint without priming it first. So how do you know if it's oil-based? If you use Goof Off and it does not come off on your piece of cloth, if the color doesn't transfer onto the cloth, say if you got a green wall, your cloth is going to come out green with some of this on there. So if it does, you'll know it's latex. Therefore, you can just paint right over it. So that will help you and save you a lot. If you've got a job, like say on an outside job, this was the case with a job that I did last week. You got all these wires and stuff outside the house. You don't want to touch a brush to that. So you use a little bit of primer in a can, any kind of super duper hard to reach places. And if you don't want to spend a lot of time doing the brush work, then go ahead and get you a can of primer. You don't want to do the whole house like that, just places that aren't good to get on the brush. Let's see. Dawn detergent. This is something that you can use to clean brushes with. You put just a tad on there and it cleans anything, and it'll cut the pigment and everything, and it'll make your brush cleaning a whole lot easier. So you always definitely want to clean your brushes. And while we're talking about cleaning brushes, there's a story behind this. Anyway, this is a brand new one, but this is a wire brush, and although some people use it to separate flaking paint from a flaky house, but you can also use this to clean your brush. And while you're at it, there's another kind of brush cleaner that's very handy to use, and it is a brush comb. And this one is kind of a more expensive one from Purdy, but this is the part that's important. And you can use this part and this part for cleaning out rollers, but this is for getting into the bristles of your brush, and you separate it and let water run down on it so you can clean your brush better, because you don't want to leave any of that paint inside of the brush, and it'll make your experience way better. And you want to make sure there's no paint left on the inside, or especially on the outside. That's why you scrape off that paint with one of these guys. Here's something that may make your whole world better. Whatever kind of roller you're going to use, get some that you don't plan on cleaning and wrap it up in a grocery sack, a plastic grocery sack. Put it in the fridge, come back the next day, make sure there's no skin on it or anything, but then use it again. When you're done, throw it away. Speaking of throwaway stuff, get you some liners for your roller pan. This makes cleanup so much better. You just slip one of these down into it, and use it during the course of your job. If you got to go away for a while, get you a wet cloth and cover it all up without getting it down into the paint, and it'll keep it good. And then when it's all over, just toss it away. All right. If you're going to be working outside, get you some of this. Don't even think that you can get away without using the wasp killer. And don't think, oh, I don't have wasp in my house. Get it anyway, because you never know when you might run up on it. I originally wanted to do some specialty tools, but I found that, you know, just simple tips might be better. This is 5-in-1 or 7-in-1, whatever they call it. With the back, you can bang nails in, and this one's actually got a hex on there. You can maybe, for whatever that's going to do. Oh, I think this one originally came with a a little insert with a Phillips head screwdriver, and you could stick that in there and use it as a screwdriver, but just bring a screwdriver too. But this is for scraping, this is for digging into corners, and this is for cleaning your roller out, and this is for opening up stuff, cans and whatnot. And you can also use this as a can opener too. Boink, 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 boink. All right, so if you have an extra brush that you don't use much anymore, or is flared out like that, and it's not good for brushing anymore, you know, for a paintbrush, because, you know, I would not use this, and you never let it get this much paint on it. So if you got something that's, use this to brush away dirt and dust, because you don't ever want to put your wet paintbrush to a dirty dust, I forget what you call those things. Okay, this is an extension for a pole, and pole extensions are a good tool to use. Another pole extension that you can use is this thing. Look at this crazy monster. If you don't have access, or if you have a hard and almost impossible to reach place, you put your brush in here, you lock your brush down in here and dip it in paint, and then you can use a pole to reach up and touch your hard to reach spaces. Another unwanted but very much appreciated tool to use is this thing right here. It's called a pivot. If you got any ladder work outside, inside, on the staircase, on the roof, this thing will help you balance you out. It's got all kinds of different advertised usage, and it is a indispensable tool. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you can use it when you're doing your paint jobs around the house. And if you can't hire a professional, hire a semi-professional, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Thank you.